I was still working at the medical examiner's office when I wrote All That Remains, but I was also had moved, or in the process of moving, to my first house because I could finally afford to buy a house. So I wrote All That Remains in Richmond, and the inspiration, once again, is we had a series of really horrific murders in Virginia that involved couples. And I was intrigued by how does somebody take control of two adults? And there were a series of couples, romantically involved couples, who seemed to vanish from their automobiles. You'd find their car pulled on the side of the road and no sign of these people. And then some point later, skeletal remains were found in wooded areas, which is where you get the title, All That Remains Is Their Bones. And I also was intrigued by, when you have so little left, what is Scarpetta going to do with this? Because when you just have bones left, skeletal remains, a lot of your evidence can be gone because any injury to soft tissue is gone. So I wanted to see what she would do with these very difficult, horrific cases if I gave her something similar in a novel as to what I was seeing in real life. So that was the genesis of All That Remains. Now, what's really interesting is that in real life, those couple murders have never been solved. They never found who did it. I think there were 4 or 5 couples in Virginia that vanished and were murdered this way. We know that a knife or a blade was used in at least one case because they found a cutting injury to one of the finger bones. So clearly, and I believe it was the female, had probably tried to ward off the knife, and that was about all that was left to give you any clue as to what occurred in these real cases. And then I think they had something similar in Australia happen some years later. So I've always been of the opinion that whoever did that left the area and maybe was involved in a job, possibly even the military, who knows, that took him to some other place. And I think he might have posed as a police officer or something like that to get these people to pull their cars over. But that was what inspired me to try to work out a case like that in fiction.